Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Primrose, and what we're going to be doing today is talking about something which I've kind of touched on my channel but not fully dived into, and now I'm like straight in there. I'm definitely diving my feet straight in the deep end, and I'm talking about my spirituality slash belief slash religion. Now it's a very open-ended thing. I don't like to put a specific label on it. If anything, I will call it my spiritual beliefs, but if someone does directly ask me what is your religion, then I will say what my religion is. So I just want to put a disclaimer out there that this video is, the majority of which is my opinions. If there is misinformation in this video, it's not my opinion. I'm not trying to misinform anybody. I am just trying to make people aware of what my religion is, clarify what my religion is, and if anyone is also looking for some advice to do with that religion, then yeah, let me know and I will be happy to answer any questions. So yeah, just that little disclaimer to say I'm only speaking from the knowledge that I know, and I'm still learning. I love to think as a religion is something where you're constantly learning about what's going on, so I apologise in advance if there are things in here that aren't correct, but to my knowledge everything is correct, so that's why I'm making this video. So without further ado, before I ramble on and this is another 40-minute video, I am a solitary eclectic Wiccan. Now, I know that if you've never heard of any of those words before, that's fine, because what we're going to do is break this all down so we can understand what that actually means and talk about that. So, we're going to split it into 3 sections. What does the solitary mean? So, you may know what solitary means. If you don't, that's fine. According to dictionary.com, solitary is something that is done or is existing alone. So singularly, alone. And that is essentially it. So being a solitary eclectic Wiccan, it is something that I practice by myself. This means that I'm not part of a group, I'm not part of a community. I go about my journey on my own by myself. I do everything at my pace. I don't want to be a part of a group. I don't want to be a part of a coven, which is what you'd call it. I don't want to go to moots. Everything that I'm experiencing, I want it to be my own personal journey. So that is why that I've chosen to be solitary. And I'm completely happy with that decision. I think it suits me just fine. It's my journey, it's my experience, and I want to experience that, so it is something that I'm doing completely by myself. Okay, so eclectic. So dictionary.com has said that the definition for this is it derives ideas, styles or tastes from a broad range of sources. So essentially what that means is, how am I going to word this? Take ideals and beliefs and aspects of some pagan religions and you incorporate them into your own practice. So, for example, not all Wiccans do witchcraft. I personally choose to do witchcraft, so that is something that I've taken and incorporated into my own practice. So it's very subjective. It's something where you are taking an aspect of something that you like or that suits you and putting that into your practice, okay? Because Wicca is very, 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 very subjective, and especially when you're walking a solitary path, again, that is completely for yourself and it's your own personal spiritual journey that you're going on. So solitary eclectic, you're doing it by yourself. Eclectic, you're taking aspects of things that you enjoy from other, we'll say, religions. I'm not saying broadly every single religion that there is out there, but aspects of pagan or neo-pagan religions that you enjoy and incorporating that into something that you want to do. I really hope that's made sense. It took me a while to get my head around it as well, but if you are interested in becoming an eclectic, whatever you want to be, it's completely fine. You don't have to even put a label against what you are. If you are looking for something like this, then the more research you do, the clearer it will be. So I really hope that's made sense. I know I'm like the most poop person for explaining things, but it's okay. We'll get there. Okay, so the longest section of what I have to talk about is what is a Wiccan. So I thought that it would be easier first to explain what is a pagan, because Wicca is under the umbrella term pagan. So when I searched up a definition of what is pagan, I have to Google how to say this word. I don't want to be mispronouncing it, I want to be accurate for you guys. Oh, it's one of those words where you can't but get it out. So a pagan is a person, people or a community that observe a polytheistic religion. So then I got looking and I was like, well, what the hell is a polytheistic religion? So This is the worship or belief of multiple deities. So a deity is a god, a higher being, for example, which are commonly assembled into gods and goddesses. So that is essentially believing in more than one god and not just worshipping one god above all other. It is multiple gods or goddesses that you will worship. And this is virtually the term for all religions apart from Judaism, Christianity and Islam, which are something called monotheistic, and that is where you just believe in one god. So mono, one, poly, two. Okay? That's essentially what paganism is. It is a religion or belief that worships more than one god, if that makes sense. That is the very loose, rough outline of what paganism is. Wicca falls underneath that. When it comes to finding a definition for what a Wiccan is, I didn't like so much the dictionary version, so I'll read it out to you anyway. A form of modern paganism, especially a tradition founded in England in the mid-20th century and claiming its origins in pre-Christian religions. So, I mean, to me that doesn't tell me about anything about what Wicca is, essentially. And I had a little look around on the internet and I found a better one on a website called The Celtic Connection. And this one says, a modern pagan religion with spiritual roots in the earliest expressions of reverence for nature. Now, again, it's a little bit too wordy. If you don't know what reverence means, it means deep respect. So Wicca, as we know it so far, is a little tree branch off of paganism. It is a modern pagan religion that has spiritual roots and has the deepest respect for nature. So in doing all this research about a proper definition of what Wicca was, I thought about how I would describe Wicca, just to make it understandable, and I come up with this. Now this is completely how I value Wicca, how I see Wicca and how I go about my practice. As mentioned, I'm a solitary eclectic, so this is my own experience, this is my own journey, but if I was to describe what Wicca is to somebody who had no idea, then this is how I would say it. So Wicca is the worship and appreciation of nature, a conscious and mindful life when it comes to all beings. It is the worship of deities and drawing upon them in the practice of witchcraft. Now I may or may not add that last bit if someone doesn't know what Wicca is and they're asking me, because I don't want to freak people out, and I am going to do a video on the common misconceptions of Wicca. So if you have any questions or ideas, please do put them down below. I would love to hear you, even if you type something that you think that you know about Wicca that might be completely wrong or that you knew in the past. Please put that down below because I would love to include that in a video. So, I'm a solitary eclectic Wiccan. I practice my spiritual belief alone. I draw from other pagan beliefs and incorporate those that I enjoy into my own practice, and I have a strong respect for nature, being mindfulness, considerate, and practicing witchcraft. Now, it goes a lot deeper than that, don't get me wrong. This is just a very loose, a very basic example of what Wicca is, and this is what Wicca is to me. So on the end of my definition, I'd included that you draw upon deities in the practice of witchcraft. Now, I just want to say that not all Wiccans practice witchcraft. It is completely subjective. So if it's something that you would like to practice, then that's fine. But if it's something that you don't want to practice and do not know about that witchcraft life, then that's also fine. You can practice Wicca without having to practice witchcraft, which is a very important thing, okay? Because there are some people that just believe in witchcraft and don't follow a Wiccan way of life. Alongside this, you may also choose to practice divination, such as tasseography, tarot, anything else that you might desire, but you don't have to do those things to be a Wiccan, okay? You don't have to do witchcraft, you don't have to do divination, but if you want to, you can. And that's what I really like about Wicca, is that you can take things at your own pace, you can incorporate whatever you want. If you want to learn something, you can do it. If you don't, you keep your practice, you know, as you want to have it, and that's why I really like it. So I'll just explain a bit more about what it is specifically to be a Wiccan compared to if you were just a witch, because those two are different as well. Not every Wiccan is a witch and not every witch is a Wiccan. Okay, so what differentiates a Wiccan from a witch is that a Wiccan believes in the threefold law. Not all Wiccans, it's subjective. But you see what I'm saying. So the threefold law is not essentially a law. You're not going to go to witch prison if you don't follow this. No one's going to be checking up on you.
You put yourself back in jail. No. Put yourself back in jail.
It's good. It's all good. So it's not a law, but it's more of a principle. So it relates specifically to power and energy, and I'd say more so in the practice of witchcraft. However, I feel like it's applicable to everyday life as well, you know, and suggests that whatever energy you put out into the world, it comes back to you threefold. So if you are putting out happy energy into the world, if you are happy, you are kind, you're generous, that's going to come back to you and good things will happen 3 times over, okay? But if you're nasty, if you're miserable, if you are horrible to people, then that's going to come back to you 3 times and bad things will happen to you, okay? So it's not law, it's just subjective as what some Wiccans believe and is more of a principle, okay? And leading on from this, or what this possibly stems from, is the Wiccan Rede. Now the Wiccan Rede is something that not all Wiccans stand by, but I personally do. I stand by the threefold law as well. And it can be described as the key moral system for Wiccans. It's I'd say a very long poem, a very long transcript of a moral system. It has been shortened down to these key words: and ye harm none, do what you will. So it's completely subjective as to what that means, but it is something that a lot of Wiccans hold dear to and provides a foundation for Wiccan living, essentially. It promotes the fact of being mindful. Again, as I've said, that's something that I really believe in as being a Wiccan, is being mindful of your energy and who you are, and being mindful that if you are a Wiccan, go about your day, go about your business, go about doing what you do as long as it doesn't harm anybody else, or go about your practice. If you want to do a spell, go about it as long as it doesn't harm anybody else. And it is completely subjective, and not all Wiccans believe this, but it is something that I hold true to me. There are cases where I'd make exceptions. There are cases where it's not applicable to apply that to real life, but it is an essential part of Wicca and my belief. So that concludes this video. If you do have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any misconceptions about Wicca, put them down below. If anyone has ever had misconceptions and you're a Wiccan, put your experience down below. I would love to hear from you. I hope this has offered some clarification for people that are looking to get into witchcraft or just curious about religion and spiritual beliefs. Then you're all welcome here. I can't wait to start making some more Wiccan videos because I have recently just done my self-dedication and I am so enthused and so excited to share my time with you guys and share my experiences and my knowledge as I learn. I hope to share that with you guys too. Thank you so much for being here. You are so appreciated, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!